What's up, y'all? I'm Miss Megan Liana, and it's time for us to be fucking for real that there is the battle of the daddies right now. And I'm kind of here for this conversation, okay? So, recently this week, Tom Brady penned an open letter to pro golfer Scottie Scheffler. He is right now the number one pro golfer in the world. And Tom Brady penned an open letter to him because of this comment or this statement that he made.
I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world because what's the point? This is not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of like the deepest, you know, places of your heart. You get to number one in the world, and then they're like, what's the point? You're like, why do I want to win this tournament so bad? That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis. It's like showing up at the Masters every year. It's like, why do I want to win this golf tournament so badly? Why do I want to win the Open Championship so badly? I don't know, because if I win, it's going to be awesome for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to get to the next week, and it's going to be like, hey, you won 2 majors this year. How important is it for you to win the FedEx Cup playoffs? And it's just like, we're back here again, We work so hard for such little moments, and I love the challenge. I love being able to play this game for a living. It's one of the greatest joys of my life, but does it fill the deepest, wants and desires of my heart? Absolutely not. I love being a father. I love being able to take care of my son. I love being able to provide for my family out here playing golf.
I love that.
That's why I talk about families being my priority, because it really is.
I love me a good
I'm
dad.
blessed to be able to come out here and play golf, but if my golf ever started affecting my home life or it ever affected the relationship I have with my wife or with my son, that's going to be the last day that I play out here for a living. This is not the be all end all. This is not the most important thing in my life. And that's why I wrestle with, why is this so important to me? Because I would much rather be a great father than I would be a great golfer. That at the end of the day, that's what's more important to me.
First of all, I want to commend him for what he said, because I think that, especially when, and I'm going to get into what Tom Brady's unnecessary rebuttal, but I want to get into, what Scottie said. It's like, we hear all the time about people who are, they've reached their peak in their career, and a lot of times they're just like, well, what was it for? We hear a lot of we see it all the time where people get famous and they accomplish every one of their goals, and they get to live out their dreams. And in living out their dreams, they're always like, yo, I'm miserable, or this wasn't what I expected. I hated this. And I think it's what he said is so important, because it's like that win, you're only in that moment, in the rush of that moment, for a moment. You have those celebratory minutes, and you go through the ceremony of, what's happening. And in the midst of all of that, it's like, it's done. And then you go home to your family. And then you go home, you know what I mean? It's like, you still have to live in the real world, and your family, that's really what should bring you joy. Those moments, it's like, yeah, you can have these accomplishments, but you also have to look at what really matters, right? And so let's get into Tom Brady, because it's important to note Tom Brady got divorced because he put football above his family. Tom Brady got divorced because he retired and then literally went back to football, right? And so in the middle of him doing that, it's like he lost his wife, Giselle. And Giselle just had another baby with her new man. And Tom didn't even have to comment on it, but let's get into, he writes an open letter on his website, and in that open letter, he says, he goes, quote, Scottie said he'd rather be a better father and husband than a good golfer. And my question is, why are those mutually exclusive? I think part of being a great father is being a great example of doing what it takes to take care of your family, which Scottie acknowledged. I chose to do it by playing football, my dedications to the sport, the hours of practice, the moment when I was laser focused. Those are the times when I believe I was doing the best possible thing for my family and for my kids by prioritizing my profession and teaching by example what it takes to be really good at your job. It's just a fucking job. But you lost your wife for your job. You lost your wife, and there's no telling where his relationship is with his kids, right? Like, we don't even know that. But then let's go into another thing that Tom Brady said. He said the point is, it's never about the professional accomplishment itself, it's about the pursuit of that accomplishment. It's not about whatever satisfaction you're looking for, it's the pursuit of that satisfaction in whatever area of your life has become the priority at that moment. And that, Tom Brady, is why you lost your wife and your family. That, Tom Brady, that mindset is exactly why you were single and your ex-wife, who just divorced you in 2022, has a new baby and had a new baby in 2024. Priorities as a parent. And I love that men are having this conversation, because actually we only hear this issue with mothers. Like, we only hear the guilt that women feel when they're having to choose between going to work and being having the career and being career driven as a mother versus staying at home being a mom. And so to hear two fathers and two people who are like at their peak have this discussion, I'm here for it. However, Tom Brady, you are not the ideal person or the poster child that needs to engage in this discussion, because you lost it. You literally are proving his point that the accomplishments and the pursuit of the accomplishment to get number one in your field, number one in your job, means absolutely nothing if you don't get to enjoy your family, if you don't get to enjoy your wife, if you don't get to enjoy your child, if you don't get to enjoy these moments, because life passes you by. When life is this thing where it's like you don't get memories back. And the moments that you miss at practice, like the moments, like when you reach your peak, when you're still trying to peak, imagine all the things you miss out on because you're trying to just peak in your career. Tom Brady, I need you to be fucking for real that your pursuit in your fucking career is what drove away your marriage. And I need you to be fucking for real that sometimes it's okay to prioritize family.